Good morning, Flosstube. It is Sunday the 21st of January 2024 and I'm Sarah and you're very welcome here to my channel Sew Me Sarah, where I talk about cross stitch and sometimes other needle arts and whatever else I fancy thrown in along the way. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, then I hope that you will enjoy what I have to share, and if you like it enough to want to come back, remember to hit the subscribe button. Those of you who already have hit the subscribe button or who come back regularly anyway, thank you so much for supporting my channel and building the community that we have here. You know already how much I treasure and appreciate that. Today I've got lots and lots to share with you. But before I do that, I'll just have a very quick chat about what happened since last time. So since last time I received lots and lots of lovely comments from all of you guys wishing me and Charlotte better health. We are doing much better. I'm really glad to say she has finally stopped coughing and is back to her normal feisty active self. So that is a good sign, I think. And I'm doing much better. Still a little bit of a cough. I think I probably have this thing that they're calling the 100-day cough. It just won't go away, but I'm not still sick, so that is a really good feeling, I have to say. And it's a good feeling because it means that I feel up to stitching, so I've got lots to share and show you today. I want to say that I'm really pleased that you all enjoyed the poem that I shared on the end of the last video as well. It was a poem for New Year. And I'm glad that it resonated with so many of you. I wasn't sure if I should share it or not, but I'm really glad now that I did. So I think it's a lovely piece with some gentle wisdom in there that many of us clearly have taken to heart. So I'm really glad that I shared it and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. What have I been up to? Well, this week, Northern Ireland ground to a halt with 2 inches of snow overnight Sunday and Monday. So yeah, we're not really set up for decent snow coping because we rarely get a decent snowfall. But even a couple of inches can cause mayhem. So my normal commute, which takes me from the house to Charlotte's school, drop her off, and then on to the office, will take 45 minutes in the morning. On Tuesday morning last week after the snowfall, it took an hour and 45 minutes and that was just ludicrous. So yeah, I hated to drive in it, I really do. And after the snowfall there were 2 or 3 days of really heavy frosty icy mornings, and my drive to work is pretty much all downhill through windy back roads and lanes of the countryside. So I tried to avoid that and went a longer route most mornings this week. So anyway, that is just the weather forecast. I know that many folks in the northern hemisphere are having it much worse, that you are caught in the polar vortex and experiencing weather like some of you have not seen before. So I do hope that you're all safe and well. Those of you in the southern hemisphere, enjoy the heat and the sunshine, and I hope it's not too severe for you. So after the weather report, what else can I tell you? Oh, yesterday my friend Stephanie and I went to a workshop in Newcastle. So Newcastle, County Down in Northern Ireland is where the Mourne Mountains are. I've shown you some photos of that area before. And if you know the Percy French song, Where the Mountains of Mourne Sweep Down to the Sea, Newcastle is the town at the bottom of Dunnard Mountain. So it's a seaside town, but Stephanie had been gifted a gift voucher for a craft workshop, and she took me along with her, and we had a great morning. It was a pressed porcelain workshop, and we went and collected some fauna from the foot of the mountain, as it were, and brought it back to the workshop and then pressed it into the porcelain clay, and then we were able to paint and then pull off our our pressed in foliage and seed heads, whatever it was that we had. I insert a few pictures while I'm talking. So we press them in, and then you know, paint a little bit, and then you pull it all off so that you have the relief of the flora and fauna that you have pressed into your clay. We were able to do 2 pieces each, which was very exciting. And I did make a mistake on my second piece, and I pulled off the flora and fauna before I had painted. Silly me. So mine is going to look a little bit different from planned, but it will be fine. I don't have anything to show you. I've got a couple of pictures but it has to now stay at the workshop, and the ladies who run the workshop will fire it in the kiln, and then they will put some black glaze in to kind of bring up the relief of the imprints in our clay, and then they will glaze and fire again. So it's going to be another 3 weeks or so before they're ready for collection, and then we have to make it down there to pick them up. So it'll be a little while, but I do promise that I'll share them with you here, even if they do look funny. But it was a really nice way to spend Saturday morning, a wet, grey January Saturday morning. It was fun. So anyone who is in Northern Ireland and fancies a little bit of clay work, I would heartily recommend the girls at the Clay Project. That's what it's called the Clay Project. And they are based in Newcastle, County Down. So that's really all that I've been up to, apart from work. It's January, the end of January is our account submission time, tax account submission time in Northern Ireland, and I work in an accountant's office, so it's busy there. But it's really lovely to come home, close the doors, because I'm not an accountant, so I don't have to bring much of it home with me. Come home, close the doors, and find some stitching to be getting on with. And I certainly did that over the last couple of weeks. So let's talk stitching. Okay, I have one fully finished object to share with you. I didn't really plan to do this, but I was scrolling Instagram, and Sammy from Little Loop Stitching posted her finish of this same piece, and I fell in love. So Sammy posted this finish as a framed piece, and I hadn't originally intended to frame it. I was going to make it into a cushion, pillow cushion, but when I saw it framed, the frame was so perfect that I asked Sammy if she would mind telling me where she picked up her frame. She did that very kindly, and I picked up the same frame because it's perfect. So the piece I'm talking about is the Dimensions Petite Gold collection kit that I stitched, a Kiss for Snowman. And look how perfect that frame is. So Sammy, thank you for the inspiration. I know you were inspired by someone else who you mentioned on your Instagram feed. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but you were inspired, and then in turn I was inspired by your version. So this is a Kiss for Snowman, and as I said, I had thought I would turn it into a little cushion cover to be used at Christmas time, but this frame was too perfect not to. So I absolutely love it. The colour is fabulous, and it wasn't very expensive. If you are interested, it is from Amazon, and it's Hampton's Frame is the name of the the company that make it, Hampton's Frames, and the frame is Paloma. It's a 6x6 inch frame in light blue. I have used some of the Paloma frames before in different colours, like a sage green and a pink, and in different sizes. So there's a nice range of these frames. So when I realised that this was from the same range, I was very happy. I knew I would be getting a frame I would like. So that is my unexpected but very happy fully finished object. I have a finish to share with you. It's a small finish, but I'm going to hold it because it's part of the Fun for 50 SAL 2024. It's one of the projects that I started and finished. It's just a little one. So I'll share it with you in a moment or two. I'll not include it here the way I normally will. So then I moved on to some WIPs. My daily thread this month, as you know, is the Dimensions Oh Holy Night Advent Calendar. And what I'm trying to do in this month is make a little bit of headway on backstitching this staple seam here at the top and filling in the darker blue here at the top of the borders. So when I choose my daily thread, I'm actually doing 2 daily threads at the moment, one of backstitch and one of the blue. So that is my plan for January, and so far it's going well. And here is the results of my effort. I have pretty much come down as far as I want to for right now here. Started on this side and I have done a little bit of the back stitch. Now a few nights ago I got caught and I didn't get a back stitch thread in, so I'm a little bit behind on the back stitch, but I'm still doing a daily thread and that's fine. You can see how it's coming to life here with the back stitch in parts of this side already. So I hope that you're not tired seeing this one yet. I know it's still got a ways to go, but humor me. Thank you for humoring me. So that is my daily thread WIP. And then, oh, this one, I picked this one up. This is Elizabeth Bennet of Jane Austen. Just zipped it up again. I forgot to pull out the pattern, sorry. So this is Elizabeth Bennet of Jane Austen. It's a freebie from Twin Peak Primitives and it's a silhouette. So I had started this last year thinking this would be a great fill-in project for times when you want to put some stitches in, but you don't want to have anything to concentrate on really. You don't want to be paying attention to a chart. So I did make a start on this last year, more or less just finishing the outline so that I had a structure to fill in. And then after the Christmas break, I needed a new car project for the time that I spend waiting in the car for Charlotte after school in the afternoons. And this was the one I chose. Silly, silly me. Anyway, here is my outline. And here is as far as I got in the car with the fill-in. It was not good and it was not happy. This is a 25 count even weave in ecru. And I'm stitching 1/1 with a black anchor floss. And it's almost impossible to see in the car in the doldrums of January in the grey light. So I tried it one pickup time and as you can see, I haven't even finished the thread, which isn't like me. I do normally finish every thread. I never usually leave a thread hanging. But in fairness, Charlotte did come running out of school and then I have to kind of just bundle it into the bag. So my car project does have more threads left unfinished than my normal projects would for that reason. So yeah, that was not successful. I feel that I almost shouldn't be showing it to you in WIPs. I did so very little on it. I think this has got to be a fill-in under bright lights. So one day it will be finished. It's probably going to take me forever since it's 1/1. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I do know what I was thinking. It's a much, much bigger project than I imagined it to be. I think I kind of thought it was like this big initially. Anyway, that wasn't a great start. And it was not a great car project. So I have had to choose something else to stitch in the car, and I will show you that when I'm talking about the Fun for 50 SAL, because it was an unexpected start, but I'm counting it in my 50. So I'll show you the alternative project for that shortly. Next, I have worked on the Gilmore Girls SAL. This is the Forbidden Fibre Company SAL. That's being released weekly. So far we have 3 parts released, so this last Monday was the release of part 3. So we've got these 3 across the top. I think I showed you the first part on the last video, so I have 2 other parts that I've managed to keep up with. They are weekly releases. I'm not imagining with my other 50 starts that I'm going to be able to keep up the pace on this one, but I don't mind. I don't mind when it starts to flag, but for now I have managed to keep up, and here is my progress so far. So this was the second release, and this is one of Suki's stories, if you know the Gilmore Girls. Suki is the chef in the inn, and a restaurant critic came and he was glowing about everything he tried, but he described her magic risotto as fine, and she was not very happy with fine as a rating. And then the third part here is 1000 Yellow Daisies. I'll try and hold it a little bit closer for you to see. And 1000 Yellow Daisies is a reference to the proposal that Max Medina makes to Lorelai. It's a very happy episode, even if the outcome is different than we might initially imagine with the proposal. Anyways, I am loving this SAL, and I look forward every Monday now to see what's coming next. You can see I'm trying to keep a little bit ahead, and by having the borders in, it does make it easier if I'm prepared with the borders. There's not actually too much stitching in the inset part each week. Again, I am aware that I'm going to fall behind at some point, probably quite soon, but I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to do what I can for now. My next WIP that I picked up is one that I was working on really well last year for a time, and then just towards the end of the year didn't get round to picking up again. And it is the Oil Forest Embroidery Alice in Wonderland piece. This was originally a stitch along. I didn't know it at the time that it was a stitch along, but I have picked it up since, and my friend Kathleen at Kathleen's Trodden Trails and I are doing a little stitch along together of this project. I've still got quite a bit to go, so when I show you my piece, I'm working down here at the moment. I still have the caterpillar on the mushroom to do, this bottom piece here and here. So, and then the bottom border. So there's quite a lot of stitching in each of the parts of this. Caterpillar cross stitch designs are quite intense, but absolutely stunning. This piece is amazing and I do love it. I had to do a little bit of fudging with this piece because I discovered when I started here that I have actually made the stocking of the leg one stitch longer than it should be, so the shoe then finishes 1 stitch lower than it should, but there was space, and so now there's just less space here, so there was space to be able to fix it. So we've got the ladder and the start of the house. I think it's for the Mad March Hare's house. So really loving this, really enjoying my sulky conversion on this. It's probably not everybody's cup of tea, but I am really enjoying how it's coming together. So yeah, you can see I still have quite a lot of space to fill, but it is a very big piece. So I'm enjoying that. It would be really good to see a finish on it this year. I don't know, it would be really good to see a finish on many of my older WIPs this year. Many of the ones that I'm carrying forward into the year. I'd love a finish on them all, but My problem is I want to stitch everything. I mean, it really is a problem at the moment. I have a real itch to stitch, and I want to start the 50 things, but I want to keep up with the SALs, and I want to do the WIPs, and you just can't have everything, Sarah. Anyway, I'm trying. I really am trying. So, the next WIP, the last of my kind of regular WIPs, is Woman in a Field of Flowers 1, and this is artwork by Ada Rosa, and the cross stitch pattern is by Stitches So Beautiful. So this piece was one I was inspired to purchase by Amanda at Pennington Terrace. Amanda, if you follow Amanda on Instagram, you will have seen her progress, and she started more in the middle, so she's got a lot of this area already stitched, and it's absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. So this is my first foray into proper full coverage, if you like, you know, big head size full coverage. It's probably not even head size. It's a 400 by 400 piece, and that's plenty big enough for me. So last year I did make a start, but it was kind of mid to late summer when I started, and then by late September I was heading into getting ready for retreats and swaps, and so it fell by the wayside. So I know that this piece is going to take me 15 to 20 years to stitch, goodness me, but it's going to take me even longer if I don't actually get to it more regularly. So at the beginning of the year, I decided that I wanted to put it into my stitching rotation every Friday. And I reckon on a Friday evening, because I stay up a little bit later Friday night, I could probably do between 2.5 and 3 hours of stitching on it on a Friday night, if I were able, if I pick it up. So that is the plan for the year, is that I've scheduled Fridays as full coverage stitching. Now, I apologise that this piece isn't ironed and isn't set up nicely for you, but it's too big a piece of fabric and it's too small an area that I've actually stitched. So I'm just going to show you it as it is rather than me moving everything around. So this exciting vision before your eyes is a lot of the sky, obviously, at the top. There are probably 6 colours of blue in there already, and there's at least 3 or 4 more to go in to the sky. I am using Markup RXP, and I know some of you will, some of you will ask me about that and what I think of it. So at the moment, the best I can tell you is that it's good, that it works. It works for me. I don't have anything to compare it to. I've never used Pattern Keeper, so I don't know what Pattern Keeper does that Markup RXP doesn't, and I don't even know all that Markup RXP does. But I can put the pattern in there. I can look at each page of the pattern separately. I can zoom in, I can select the symbol and it highlights all of that symbol that's on that page. I can mark them off as I stitch them. I can save it and record it. It records some stats, tells me what percentage I've done. I don't look at that because it's kind of depressing at this early stage. It gives me an estimate for the finish date. Again, we're not paying attention to that, but it gives you all those things. And I have been able to manage it, you know, how it works, and find out. There are good support videos on YouTube for Markup RXP, lots of little short tutorial videos on there. So that is the best I can say. I wish I'd remember who, but someone else, one of the other bigger floss tubers, mentioned on Instagram this week that she had been using Markup RXP and really liked it. So, and she is someone who has used Pattern Keeper in the past. So that's possibly a better validation of Markup RXP for you. If you are interested in it, you can have, I think it's like a 2 weeks trial, free trial, before you would have to subscribe. And it's not a huge subscription. I think it was $17.99 or something like that for the year's subscription. I know now, I didn't know, but I know now that I wouldn't want to be doing a full coverage of this size without Markup RXP or Pattern Keeper or something similar. I think marking off on paper would be fine, but it is so helpful to have it identify the symbols for you, so that when I say, well, let's have a look at everything that's this heart symbol, I select that, it highlights everything, and then I know exactly where I have to go to make those stitches. If I was doing that on paper, I would have to be finding all those symbols with my own eye, as it were. So I have nothing bad to say about Markup RXP. I enjoy it in as much as I will enjoy any of those. I don't think I'm going to become a tablet stitcher. I still like my paper patterns. I really like to be able to watch my iPad while I stitch, not have to watch. I don't like to watch YouTube on my phone, but I have to do that if I'm using the iPad for Markup RXP. So those are just my personal things. They're not actually a reflection of the Markup RXP at all, and I will not be unsubscribing from RXP until this is finished. So they've got my money for the next whatever number of years anyway. So anyway, that is, I knew that some of you would ask because you've asked before, and you probably want to know how I feel about it a little while in, and that's about all I can tell you at the moment. But I certainly I'm happy with it. I don't have a problem. I don't know if I'm experienced enough to know where the problems lie, but as I said, there are others out there who are seasoned full coverage stitchers who are enjoying the product as well. So anyway, let's move on. So that is all of my regular whips for the last couple of weeks, and now I will show you the starts that I've had since we last met, the starts that I've had for my big 50 year. And this is a combined challenge that Sally from Sally at FlossySewsandGrows and I are doing, because 2024 is our 50th birthday year, and we are going to start 50 things. So we both made a start. I shared with you my very first start in the last video, and now I have a few more that I've done in the last couple of weeks. So start number 2 was a celebration of colour, and that is the free SAL that Ros Clarke is hosting at the moment over on her channel and her Instagram. So this is a SAL, as it says on the tin, to celebrate colour. It's a SAL that's challenging us to think about colour. Ros gives some wonderful information on colour theory, on the colour wheel, a little bit of background about the inspiration for her design, which is a mystery, so it's only being released to us kind of one colour at a time. And I'm really enjoying it so far. It's being released about fortnightly. So part 2 is out, and I have stitched some of part 2, but not all of it. I don't have a pattern to show you, I don't have a picture to show you because, as I said, it is a mystery. So I'll just show you the piece. Oh, I've just pulled it off the board that it's on. Let me fix it. I'll show you the piece and then I'll tell you the story. Okay. As I said, my part 2 is not finished yet. So with these parts, Ros is giving us part of the borders each time. That's the yellow parts. And then she's giving us one color at a time and some of the black outlining that's going in as well. So the first part was the red violet part. So that is the more pinkish color that you can see. And then this part 2 is red. So I haven't finished all the red. But let me tell you a story. So when I started with the yellow border when I started part 1 of this stitch. And I started with the yellow border. This is a 32 count Lugana in antique white. No, just white, sorry. It's a Zweigart white Lugana in 32 count. And I got my yellow that I'd chosen from my colour wheel. And I started to stitch with 2 threads, which is what I normally would do on a 32 count, is stitch with 2 threads. But when I put the threads in for the border, I did about 2 inches of border and it looked awful. I mean, it really did. It just looked jam-packed. It looked overfilled, and I quite like full stitching, but it really didn't look good at all. So rather surprisingly, I suppose, I unpicked it and I restitched the border and did the rest in one strand, in a single strand. So that's 1/2 on 32 count. And in the yellow, that all looks fine. Okay, so then I thought, okay, well, 1 strand it is. Maybe this is a very tight 32 count or something, you know. So I continued with part 1 and I stitched the red violet colour. This is almost pinkish colour that I have. And I stitched that in 1 thread too. And over here you can see, yeah, if I can point here, this is 1 thread over 2. And some of the others on this side are still 1 thread over 2 as well. So I stitched that in and I thought, it's not as good as the yellow, but it's okay, it's okay. And then we got to the black and I did 1 thread over 2 and I was like, don't know. But I just finished it. So then I finished part 1. Posted it on Instagram, but I wasn't really that happy. And then when part 2 came out, I stitched some of the red stitches 1/2, and it was just like, no, there really wasn't enough coverage. As I had expected, as I thought would happen with, you know, in the first place, I fully expected on this 32 count to have to stitch with 2 threads. So anyway, the long and short of this is that what I did is, so don't look closely, is I took out the few red stitches that I'd done. I'd only done this one little pie segment here. I took it out and I restitched that with 2 threads. I thought, yeah, that's way better. And then I went back over the previous part, so all the pink parts, and I wasn't going to frog them, sorry, but I just wasn't. And I just restitched over the top. So yeah. Anyway, nobody's ever going to look at that closely. This is an experimental piece for me in many ways, but I think it looks okay and the coverage is definitely better. So right now what you're looking at is part 2, which is the red, is only partly complete. I have more red to fill in. And my redo of part 1, the red violet colours, my redo is only partial as well. So on this side here, I have them all doubled up. Now they've all had 2 threads, but I have to get, and over here this is 2 as well, but over here I've got to get all of these, restitch them, stitch over the top of them. So don't tell the stitch police, but it's doing better. And then I thought, well, maybe I was too hasty with the yellow. Maybe it was a trick of lighting or something else. So I tried a little bit of yellow again with a double thread, but it was awful. It was really awful. So here I am. I'll be doing the borders with 1 yellow thread over 2 and everything else with 2/2. And I have to say the black looks much, much better with the 2/2 as well. So that was a long story to tell you what a Horlicks I made at the beginning of my celebration of colour SAL. So I'm looking forward to getting all of this corrected, all the single strands corrected, and the rest of the red put in. So it is so good of Ros to do this for us, to give her time and create this free SAL for us, and to give us the lovely information Flosstube videos that she's been giving us for it as well. So thank you very much, Ros, and I'm sorry for making a mess of your pattern so far. But I'm getting there, I'm getting there. Okay, that is the story of a celebration of colour SAL. I should just tell you that it fulfills some of the prompts that you viewers gave us. I'll actually just hold it up again. So remember that you as viewers gave us lots of suggestions, prompt suggestions for our 50 challenge. And the ones that this one fulfilled are number 32, which was a suggestion by Noreen, my friend Noreen, who said, stitch something designed by Ros Clarke. So tick, tick, yeah, that fits the bill. And prompt number 72, which is by Justine Stitching, and this is the second time I've used this prompt, but this is to stitch something designed by someone you have met, and I met Ros at Stitch in London in October. So this is ticked, this one, ticked on the prompts. Sorry, tripping over my own teeth. The prompts for the SAL, for the Fun for 50 SAL 2024, all of the viewer prompts can be found down below in the Google link. I did forget to link it last time, and someone kindly reminded me. So I will make sure it's linked there this time as well. So if you're interested and you would like to see the kinds of prompts that everyone suggested, I have collated the list there, and hopefully Sally and I will find some time to tick off those prompts that we have fulfilled as we go through our starts. Okay. Start number 3 was an unexpected, unplanned start. So this 50 starts challenge, sorry, forgive me, I'm just trying to pick everything up. This 50 starts challenge is getting serious. It's on a clipboard, guys. A clipboard with color coding and everything. And it keeps changing. So a clipboard is essential. But I had not planned this start, and this start, my number 3 start, is called It Is Well, and this is a pattern by the Rocking Chair Stitcher. I showed you this a few weeks before Christmas when I had purchased it. And when I encountered the difficulties with Elizabeth Bennet in the car, this was what I gravitated towards for car stitching. This is nice and easy to see in the car. I'm stitching this one on a 32 count linen. It's a Zweigart linen called Silk, and it is it's a really beautiful pale grey colour, and this thread is a Roxy Floss Co thread that I bought at Stitch in London called Hippie, and it's coming out beautifully on here. So this one is much easier to see in the car when I'm waiting for Charlotte, and it has become number 3 of my starts for this year. So the prompts that this one works with are number 23. It's stitch something blue or with blue or purple thread. So this is a purple thread, and that was from Kathleen McRae. Number 48 prompt, which was suggested by Cynthia Veal and also by Sandy Keeble, was to stitch something with a shade of purple in it. So I've got several shades of purple in here. Prompt number 29 was start a project with Roxy Floss thread, and that was a suggestion by Karen of the Stitching Owl. So this was Roxy Floss thread. And then Thea Van Erp suggested that we stitch something that is dance or music related, and that was prompt number 30. And this It Is Well With My Soul is a hymn, so it kind of fits the music related, I would say. And then this one also fits the bill for prompt 83, which is stitch something monochromatic using a thread with tonal changes in it. And that is by my long-term viewer, Teresa Petrick. So lovely tonal variations in this monochromatic thread. So yeah, this little stitch filled lots of the prompts. There will be duplications of the prompts as we go through, but it's really fun to have a look down the list and see where the current project fits. And it's nice to share that back to you. At least I hope that you like it too. It's nice to be sharing it back to you since you guys were all involved in making those prompt suggestions in the first place. Start number 3. Okay, start number 4 is a start and a finish, which is very exciting, especially when you know you've got 50 starts the year coming. It's very exciting to have one of them finished. This is from the Snowball book by Brenda Gervais by With a Needle and Thread. And this lovely little book was gifted to me by one of the viewers. So thank you so much. I love it. And I do intend to stitch all of them eventually. I've stitched the little chalet one already, which is this one. I've stitched that before. But my start number 4 was Snow Globe Magic. Look, it's so lovely. This fabric is permanent linen, so it's kind of nice and crispy, but it's called Star Sapphire. It's a beautiful, beautiful green color, very pale, pale green. And I thought it was a nice winter, like soft, frosty winter green color, and it works really well with the called for DMC threads from the pattern. This one, which I think is 924 or 927, I was worried about to begin with because it's very close to the fabric when you're stitching it, but actually I think it gives that nice illusion of glass for the snow dome shape, so you can barely see it, but there is an outline there. And I love him. I think he's just beautiful. So I'm not quite sure how I want to finish him. And this is not a year about finishes, this is a year about starts. But because I want to stitch the other ones from the book eventually, I think I'll just hold off on finishing them until I have him and the chalet one as well, until I have a few more done and decide. They'll probably be cushions or ornaments of some kind, but yeah, I'm so happy to have number 4 start and finished. And this one met some of your prompts as well. So it met prompt number 12, which was suggested by 2 viewers. First by Kathleen of Kathleen's Trodden Trails, and then also by Rosa Moulton. So Kathleen and Rosa suggested that we use the letters of our names for new starts. Excuse me a second. Apologies folks, I'm still coughing a little bit here and there. Yes, as I was saying, Kathleen and Rosa suggested that we use the letters of our names for starts. So I will use the letters of Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, for 5 different starts across the year. That was really fun when I was pulling projects from my stash to try and make them, to see which ones, if any, could fit the letters. And I do have all 5. So the other 4 are still to come, but this is the start with letter S for Snow Globe Magic. And then Ros Clarke also suggested in prompt number 39 that we start a chart beginning with S. So Ros didn't go for the full name, but she did say to start something beginning with S. So that is Snow Globe Magic by Brenda Gervais. And then out of my normal sequence of Monday starts, I had a little chat with Sally, and we were getting excited about For Thee coming up. Now For Thee, I will insert a picture of it because it's really hard to get a good picture of it. So sorry, it's not great quality, but this is a freebie pattern by Leela's Studio, and it was released in 2015. So Sally and I were chatting, and Sally was keen to start, and this was one of the starts that we're both doing, not necessarily at the same time, but anyway, in the course of the conversation, we wanted to start it at the same time, so we did yesterday. And I made a start on it yesterday afternoon, when just before dinner, and here is my start. Forgive that my needle is in there. I don't normally store my needles on my fabric, but I know I'm going to come back to this this afternoon. So this is my start of For Thee. And the actual words For Thee are to be backstitched in here. So this was about 3.5 hours of stitching last night. I don't know why, it flew off my needle and I absolutely adore it. I am stitching in a variety of reds, and they're on a 36 count platinum from Zweigart. It's platinum Edinburgh linen. And I'm stitching one strand over 2 threads. I'm using a selection of red threads from my stash, and the purpose of that is to meet one of the viewer prompts. And this great suggestion came from Josie Ashmore, and it's prompt number 64 on our list. And it says, choose your favorite color and stitch something in as many shades of it as you can find. So red is my favorite color, and I am doing my best to find all the different shades of it. So far, I'll hold it up here. So far I have stitched with DMC 304, 814, 347 and 815. Classic Colourworks Licorice Red, Hollyberry and Cherry Cobbler. Weeks Dye Works Cayenne, and Roxy Floss Co. Inappropriate. And I love it. I love the mixture of the reds. I just love the variety. I love the quicker. I love the little motifs. I wanted just to, you know, kind of hibernate and finish it. That's really what I want to do. So I'm hoping that this afternoon and this evening I will get back to it if the video editing gods are kind. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes the editing just takes forever and eats up an entire evening. But anyway, if I can get some stitching done tonight, it will be a little bit more on this. And then that will be, yeah, that will just be put away again until I can bring it back into my WIPs. But I absolutely love it. Wholly recommend the pattern. If you don't have it, go and find it. I will try and link it below. I'll link everything below as I normally do, and any floss tubers mentioned in it, all of that, as much as I possibly can. So go and watch Sally as well, or go and check out her Instagram. She did just do a video earlier in the week before starting this, so it'll probably be another week or two before she's sharing it on a video, but you can see her progress on her Instagram, and that's at FlossySewsandGrows. So thank you, Sally, for the inspiration to get started on this one a little bit earlier than planned, and I absolutely love stitching on it. Love it. Okay, that is all of my starts so far for our big 50-year challenge. So that's 5 so far in January, and there are 2 more to go. Yeah, 2 more to go for January. The first one that's coming up in January, sorry, I'm just trying to rearrange the piles here, it will be from Love Notes, and I've shared this with you before, these January stitches. So we're going to stitch Cupid's Cup, and we'll be starting that this week. And then on the 25th, so I'm going to have 2 starts this week. Cupid's Cup on the 22nd and Enchanted Realms from Caterpillar Cross Stitch on the 25th, because that is the first release date for the Caterpillar Cross Stitch SAL, their next mystery SAL. Don't forget, if you are joining me for the SAL or would like to join me for the SAL and haven't yet purchased your kit, you can get 10% off if you use the code Sarah10Enchanted when you're ordering. So if you haven't ordered yet, please go and get ordered up so that you are ready for the start, or just soon after the start of this fun SAL. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the release of the first release pattern will be next week. So it is, I always like to see, I like the mystery, the anticipation of it, what's coming next. So those are my 2 remaining January starts, which I shared with you before. So now I'm going to share with you what's coming up in February in my plans for the Fun for 50 SAL 2024. And that way, if you want to join in with any of these particular stitches, you have time to, to find them, get them ready, get them out. I'm not giving you specific dates. I do try to start on a Monday and Tuesday night, but that it's flexible. But you don't need to worry about starting on the exact date that we start on. You don't even have to start on the exact project. But if you would like to, that's why Sally and I are going to share our projects kind of a couple of weeks ahead. So now it's mid-January, I'm going to share with you what's coming up in February. I have 4 new starts planned for February. The first one in February is again from the Love Notes pattern booklet, and we're going to stitch the lovebirds. So this one says "Be Mine" with those little lovebirds on it. So that will be our stitch. I think Sally is planning to start that on the 1st, and I am planning to start it on the first Monday and Tuesday, which is I think about the 5th or 6th or something like that. So that'll be, let's say, the first week in February. That's what we'll be working on. And then after that, we're kind of doing our own thing for the month. So the next of my choices is from this It's So Emma booklet of Sweetheart Ornaments. And I'm sure that many of you have this in your stash because it was very popular when it released last year, and I picked it up around Christmas time. So I'm going to stitch this one, which is called Key to My Heart. And you'll see that this is a nice small one. So occasionally, from time to time, I want to make sure I throw in a few small ones that can maybe be finished and not have 50 large projects all waiting for me. But I think it'll be really sweet to be able to make a start on that one. And then I'm going to show you a picture here, because the next start that I have will be on the 19th of February. And that is because it is the start of the Historical Sampler Company's SAL, All Things Grow with Love. This is a mystery SAL that they are releasing, and they have asked me to partner with them in. I don't have anything to show you at the moment, but hopefully by the next video I will have some bits and pieces that I'll be able to share with you, and I'll be sharing that with you as I work through the SAL, but it will be one of my 50 starts this year. So it looks like a lovely fun SAL. I have always enjoyed Historical Sampler Company projects, and I'm looking forward to partnering with them on this one. So if you're interested, you can go and have a wee look also. Okay, the last of my February starts will be Big Hearted Tiny Town. I love this tiny town. I love this one, and I love the seaside one. I think there might be another one that I have in stash somewhere. So I'm going to stitch this one on pink fabric, and I'm really looking forward to that. So those are my February planned starts. You can see the Valentine's theme is strong. So lovebirds, Key to My Heart and Big Hearted Tiny Town, and then All Things Grow with Love from the Historical Sampler Company. Those are the February plans. Please join us if you would like to. In today's Get Connected section, I am going to highlight again the Jacob Sleeper SAL, and this time I'm highlighting it because it has been confirmed. This is a SAL being hosted by Carmen at Cardamom Pins, and it is called the Jacob Sleeper SAL because it refers to Jacob de Graaf of modern folk embroidery, and the patterns that are in his inventory, in his collection, that maybe aren't as popular. They're older and we don't see them as much, certainly at the moment. So it's those sleeping patterns, as she has called them. And Carmen is going to stitch out one of the really big samplers. And we're hoping that lots of other folks will join in with older patterns that they've found or purchased or are in their stash from Jacob, that they've always wanted to stitch, but maybe the excitement for them got overtaken by the bigger, newer SALs or whatever it is. So anything that's a little bit more unknown, unfamiliar to us all from Jacob's collection. So in anticipation of that, and it starts on the 1st of March, I'm going to say if you're interested at all, go watch Carmen and find out more about that, and then search your stash or go and search Jacob's website. But in anticipation of my participation in it, I want to ask for your help. So this is planning for my starts in March, and I want to start one of these two pieces, which will be my piece then for the Jacob Sleeper SAL. So I'm going to have a little viewer poll here. I'm going to give you two choices. All you have to do is add the code word in your comments today, and then whoever wins by the time of my next video, whichever pattern wins by the time of my next video, is the more correct way to say that, is the one that I will stitch and start for the Jacob Sleeper SAL. So I have this one, which is called a Georgian bouquet. I love the kind of oval, it's not quite round, but the oval center medallion of this image. And of course I love the red. So it could be a Georgian bouquet, or it could be the peacock tree. I love this one too. I just think it's very striking, and I love the blue. So either use the word bouquet in your comment to choose this pattern, which is from 2012, Jacob's collection in 2012, or use the word peacock in your pattern for this 2018 design. Which one should I start for the Jacob Sleeper SAL? Over to you. Okay, continuing with Get Connected, the other great way that is coming up for you to connect with the cross stitch community is to join the winter camp that is hosted by Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitch. Now, I have never joined one of her camps. She does a summer camp and she does a winter camp. I always want to. The timing is just always wrong for me. I've always just started something else, like 50 new starts or whatever. And the camp idea is really that you start and finish a project within a month. So you know, I haven't had the opportunity to be that dedicated, really, is what it boils down to, which is why I haven't joined in. But I've watched lots of my other friends, Flosstube friends and real friends, join with Sherry's camp and really enjoy it. So go and watch Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitch if you're interested. The theme for this camp, for this month of February, is to stitch something with an animal in it. The choice is entirely yours. It is supposed to be a project that you start and finish within the month. So you upload a photo to Instagram and you put the correct tags on it. with your start, and then you upload another photo with your finish before the end of the month. And doing that makes you eligible for some of the wonderful prizes that Sherry has on offer. But I encourage you to go and check out Sherry's Flosstube videos for all of the information for that if you are interested in connecting in that way. All right, I really think you've had enough of me for the day. It was a lot to share with you today. I hope that I haven't overwhelmed you all. So as a little bit of compensation, I will offer you a small giveaway for this video. So continuing with the Valentine theme of the stitching that's coming up, I have this Artist Designs book to give away to one of you. So it's called Stitching Love and Kindness, which is based on the main sampler that's in the book. But it is a book mainly of smalls. And I'm going to just show you the table of contents because it has pictures of all of the stitches on it. There's a few punch needles in there as well, so anyone who's interested in punch needle. So that is Artist Designs, Stitching Love and Kindness. And if you are interested in winning this, please be over 18. Please don't use any of the buzzwords in your comment like giveaway, freebie, winners, all of that. Just avoid those words to keep the bots away and the trolls. And use the word Valentine in your comment. And I will do a draw for this before the next video and get this out to someone. I'm happy to post anywhere in the world, so don't exclude yourself just based on where you live. Unless, of course, there's no mail to where you live. But if there's mail to that part of the world that you live in, then I'm happy to send it on to you if you're the winner. So guys, lots going on here. I hope that you are all busy and enjoying your stitching as much as I am. And I look forward to seeing and hearing more of what you're up to on Instagram and on the other places that we connect, like Zoom calls or wherever. Do enjoy your stitching. Don't make it a chore. And until we meet again, please stay well and stitch happy. Bye, folks.